So hello class, now today we are going to discuss about principle of object oriented programming. So basically class, four principles are there. The first one is data abstractions, second is encapsulation, third one is inheritance, and the fourth is polymorphism. So if you try to understand about data abstraction, so data abstraction shows essential features. Data abstraction shows essential features and hide background details. So what we see, if we are using data, or if we try to understand about data abstraction, so under data abstractions it shows essential features. Essential features are like if you are taking an example of a car. When we drive a car, so what we see, when we use brake or accelerator, then it changes the speed of our car, but we don't know how these things are happen. So what we realize, it shows brake and accelerator, it shows essential features in a car. Brake and accelerator are the essential features, so it shows brake and accelerators, but we don't know how these things are performed in a car. So what we see, it shows essential features, hide background details. Now if you try to understand about encapsulation, so encapsulation wrap the data in functions. What we see under encapsulation, it wrapping data and functions for completing any specific task. Particularly, what can encapsulation do? It wrap data and functions for completing any specific task. Whatever task we want to perform, we need to wrap data and function to each other together. And when we wrap both things to each other, then what we see, we can do any specific task, whatever we want to complete in our programming concepts. Now next thing is inheritance. Inheritance means inherit something. Now the next thing is that what is the meaning of inherit something. So we can take an example like if there is a mensuration. So under a mensuration, what we do, we deal with length, breadth, height, radius, other type of things. But what we see, mensuration are defined or derived under two classes or two ways. The first one is 2-dimensional, second one is 3-dimensional. Now 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional both are inherited mensuration quality or mensuration task. Particular whatever mensuration done, both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional inherit mensuration quality or mensuration properties, because mensuration always deal with length, breadth, height and radius, and 2-dimensional deal with only length, breadth and radius also, and 3-dimensional are always deal with radius, length, breadth and height. So what we see, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional both are inherited base class, means mensuration properties. Now we can done our all the tasks related to length, breadth, radius under a 2-dimensional, and if we want to complete our any task with length, breadth, height and radius, then we need to use 3-dimensional. So now what we see, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional both are inheriting mensuration properties. Clear? We can also say that it is a base class or super class and derived class are also known by subclass or target class. So these all are the and the last is polymorphism. So if you try to understand about polymorphism, then we see first of all we need to take an example like cell. So what we see, if we are using cell in physics, then it is different thing. If we are using cell in bio, then again it is a different thing. Means a single name perform different tasks with different type of work in physics as well as biology as well as in our daily routine life. Like if we are giving exam in somewhere, then they can say this is the examination cell. So what we see, single name perform specific different tasks in a different places. Like in a physics it plays another role, bio another, and in your daily routine life it plays another role. So in the same way, in our programs, suppose there is a table, we are taking another example. So when we eat something, then it is dining table. When we study on this table, then it is called study table. and if we want to complete any other specific task, then we can say that another type of table, whatever we want to see. So now what we see, single table perform different tasks, or we can say that multiple tasks at a multiple places. So in polymorphism, single function done multiple tasks, means a single function done, or carry, we can also say that done or carry multiple tasks in our programs. Clear? So these are all the four principles of object-oriented programming. Clear? The first one is data abstraction, second one is encapsulation, third one is inheritance, and the fourth one is polymorphism. If you try to understand about data abstraction, then simple thing which we need to understand, that is it shows essential features and hide background details. Now if you try to understand about encapsulation, then it used to wrapping a data and functions for completing or performing any type of different or a specific task. If you try to understand about inheritance, then it inherit property of something, like it inherit property of another class. If there is a base class, then if this is a base class, then our subclass, target class or derived class inherited base class property. Clear? After this, polymorphism. So polymorphism means there is a single cell which uses physics in another way, bio another way, and examination cell another thing. So in the same way, single function carry multiple tasks in our program. This one is defined under a polymorphism. So thank you.